Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 12:59 p.m. on the 23rd of March 2024. I have it on very good authority. Specs on my nightie. I have it on very good authority that it's Purim this evening. So to my Jewish friends and family and community out there in the world, I don't actually belong to the Brisbane Jewish community anymore for many unpleasant reasons. But apart from that, to the rest of my my Jewish tribe out in the world, Chag Sameach, have a few drinks tonight, celebrate. Don't forget, stomp Haman back down into the ground where he belongs, and never let the bastards grind us down. Anyway, I will be out dancing tonight again, even though I'm pretty tired because I'm pushing myself a little bit just to test, I guess just to play with my energy and see how far I go and how I cope with it. Just kind of out of an academic curiosity. Yes, I have academic curiosities about my own being at times. But anyway, I had a wonderful night last night at the Brooklyn Standard dancing for Alter Egos, and had a really wonderful time. I got into full tribal mosh when they played Zombie, which was just glorious and powerful and soul innovating, and I feel great. I'm also kind of tired, but I feel great at the same time. But I got home at 3 and I took off all my makeup and I went straight to bed. So I slept from about 3:30, woke up at 9, so had a good few hours. There was a couple of interruptions because I have to get up to pee, but boring. But anyway, I did have a reasonably good sleep considering I thought I would sleep longer actually. So I got up this morning and I sat out with Charlie and, sat in the garden for a while just to be grounding on planet Earth. And then I thought I'll go back to sleep. But I've been lying there for a few hours and nothing's happening. So I've decided, since I'm not sleeping and my brain's wanting to be activated, that I would get up and make my daily vlog for YouTube and tell you about my latest, exploits of living la vida formidable. I don't know how to say formidable in Spanish, but anyway, I'm mixing my languages here. But anyway, living my very best life to the best of my abilities, and staying alive and staying happy and staying joyous and a little bit circumspect and holding my own on planet Earth as I do every day, every single day of my life, like every other mortal on this planet. So I lost one of my skull earrings in the club yesterday. They're only costume jewellery, so I won't bother chasing it down. But it's amazing how I'm always losing bits of myself, jewellery specifically. But I must shed quite a bit of freaking DNA when I get into the full tribal mosh and sweat and and I probably leave soul fragments behind too because I put so much energy into the dance. So I've been pondering that this morning, if I'll have to do a bit of a soul retrieval and claw it all back. But anyway, I did have a wonderful time. There was a kind of a tension for the first hour I was there. There was an intensity that actually came from within myself, to be honest. I was thinking, maybe I'm not meant to be here tonight. Maybe I should go home. But as often happens, my spirit said, no, stick it out, girlfriend. You're going to have a wonderful night, and don't subscribe to the feeling of oppression. It's probably not yours, and just flick it off. And so I did, and off I went indeed, dancing very, very wildly and shamaniacally as I do. So as I was leaving the club, there were two young men waiting outside when Nerida and I left. Very nice looking young men, and they were both from Yorkshire. So they were chatting, they struck up a conversation, politely, because they asked us if there was anywhere to go at 3 a.m. And I joked, I said, well, you can be the piranhas for the third wave at the casino. They said, what's that? I said, when all the drunk men come to the casino at the end of their nights and want to devour us from the ankles up. And they were like, you're funny, lady. I'm like, yes, I am funny, but it also happens to be the truth. So I said to them, well, I should know. I was there for 12 years. I know exactly how it works, the various waves of very hungry, horny men indeed. Anyway, they liked my truth speaking, and we had a little chat, and I told one of the young men, when he told me they were from Yorkshire, I told him the story about my driving instructor when I was a young girl, 16 years old, learning to drive. And that young man said, that was far too young to be learning to drive. I said, no, back in the day in New Zealand, you could start learning to drive from the age of 15. I said, but I had to wait till I was 16 because I didn't have the money for the driving lessons. He looked at me in astonishment. And I said, anyway, this particular driving instructor, I had a vague feeling that I knew him from somewhere. But I said it took 3 lessons before I looked at him and went, George, I know you. And George turned to me. He was a much older gentleman in his 50s. And the young man said, you had sex with him. I said, don't be ridiculous. At 16, I had no interest in having sex with anyone, especially a man old enough to be my father. Didn't tell him that, there's a bit of a background to that story. But anyway, I said, George, I remember you. And he said, oh, do you really? I said, yes. I said, when I was about 8 years old, I said, you came to our house and my auntie Lillian, who came from the Isle of Wight, bet you over the head with a cast iron frying pan. I said, because you'd been a very, very bad boy while she was on holiday back in England. And he went, yes, I might have deserved it. I said, I've always had deep respect for Yorkshiremen ever since, for admitting when they were caught out and taking their punishment with grace and nobility. Mind you, she nearly knocked him unconscious. It was a very heavy cast iron pan. So I said to this young man, my relationships with men were damaged from that point on because I sat back and thought that was the most wonderful thing I had ever witnessed in my whole life. Not telling him, of course, that I was experiencing, my own primordial predators in the household, and seeing a man being beaten and almost rendered unconscious was my idea of revenge babies, because children, what do they know about violence and love and lust and infidelity? It's a complex fucking chunky soup, isn't it? That usually ends up being regurgitated sooner or later, coming out in my stories. Sorry about that. But anyway, young Yorkshireman loved that story about my Uncle George. He said, George is a very good name. I said, is it your name? He said, no. So then he made me guess his friend's name, which eventually I got there. Very handsome looking young man. He was quite taken with our Nerida. I kept saying, are you single? Are you single? And Nerida was freaking out. And then as fate would have it, her bloody Uber didn't show up. So she went back. I said, do you want me to stay with you until your Uber comes? Because I said, I'm not in a hurry to go home. I mean, I'm no great. It doesn't matter if I wait around a bit longer, because I go home alone anyway. She said, no, I'll be right. So I left her in the company of those two very friendly young men. They were nice young men, actually, very decent. I hope they remained decent when I left anyway. They seemed okay. And then as I was walking away from that, little bit of a tete-a-tete with the young men and my beautiful friend Nerida, there were two other women sitting down on a bench seat, and they both looked at me and they said, we watched you all night long. You did well tonight, meaning my wild dancing. I said, oh, thank you. I said, I'm 59 in 3 weeks' time. I said, I can't believe I'm still doing this. And they nodded with real admiration, It was delightful. So yet again, I was showered with lots of love and affection and friendship and sweetness, and I'm very grateful for that, really grateful for that. And tonight I will re-innovate myself so the magic can happen again, right? Tonight I'm promised it's going to be lots more alternative, harder rock, so there'll be a lot more moshing. So my neck's already a little bit sore from what I did to myself to Chop Suey and Zombie, but we'll see how we go. I'll soldier on as I do every single day. But yes, I'm a very happy and contented Mama T, surrounded by loving souls at the moment, and it's beautiful. So I'll carry on with today's readings of even date. I just noticed 1:11 p.m. Make a wish, people. Done. Same wish. It's the same wish I've been wishing for, about 35 years even. Even when I was still married, I was wishing for finding someone who truly, deeply loves me. Not that I was playing the field on my husband. Didn't enter my mind, but I knew I wasn't loved. I knew. It was as obvious as my nose on my face. So I've been praying for this dream of a heartfelt love connection all my life. It's a bit ridiculous, people. A wiser woman would have given up by now. I do go through periods in my life where I give up and I just chuck that albatross to the side and I just say, sit in the corner and drool, baby bird. I'm not going to feed you this week. I've got silversmithing to do, or I've got some other thing I'm dealing with in life I can't be focused on. Phantasmagoric dreams that never come true, right? It's a dull ache that just, I seep with that wound sometimes quite painfully. But I'm not the only one. We live in a society where love is a rare commodity and cheap and usually expended on people who are false and feckless and cruel. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So real love, real, juicy, devoted, heartfelt, sincere, romantic, passionate, loyal, faithful love is literally a gift from the gods. And it's hard to know what is real sometimes in my own personal paradigm, given my lifetime of trauma and abject bloody horror, even joking around with the Yorkshireman about my Uncle George being beaten with a cast iron pan. That's how I learnt that love is dangerous and toxic and unpredictable and violent, and even men sometimes aren't safe with women, that women can be a bit fucking savage too. I mean, he kind of deserved it because she went on holiday to the Isle of Wight to see her family and he shagged some other woman behind her back. Like, I kind of get why she slammed him with a cast iron pan, but it was a little bit excessive. She could have just said, George, you're a backbiting, cheating, lowlife, can't get out of my life. But no, she decided to slather in one. But the beauty of it is, as fate would have it, he ended up being my driving instructor and teaching me how to drive. And I got my licence too. Probably shouldn't have. So I'm a terrible driver. Lights out 11 o'clock. Actually, no, I'm not a terrible driver. But at that age, when I was 16, I was such a nervous driver, so terrified, that the driving inspector, when I went for my licence, said to me, just drive around the local streets until you build your confidence, Tanya. And I said to him, well, that's what they said to my mother, and she's still driving around the local streets. I said, I need to get proficient at this and be able to travel further afield because, you know, I don't want to be the silly person that drives 40 kilometres an hour around the local streets because they're so fucking terrified of life and inadequate, right? Anyway, I've been driving my own chariot for a long time. 16, what does that, when I'm nearly 59, what is that? 46 years. My goddess, I've been driving for 46 years. Astonishing. But anyway, so what have we done? We've made our wish. We've had our post-dancing debrief. We've talked about all my love potentiates that I'm still growing magically in my own DNA and heart and soul and wish fulfillment and trying not to go quietly mad. We're meeting lovely young people that, you know, are sweet. So yes, it was a good night indeed. And so today's readings of even date, 23rd of March 2024, is titled Courage in Forming Potential New Friendships, but I still fell apart at the seams. Healing. Sweet, really. I guess it was the first time that I started to even consider opening up to anyone, and so even that was a bit astonishing and frightening. Just show you a picture. Where's it gone? Of one of my very rare and precious dragon fruits that actually formed a fruit, because the bloody thing always drops its flowers and doesn't do anything. So that was a bragging rights photo. Looking promising, I wrote. Oh dear goddess, it's about as promising as my own promise to myself to thrive and find true love. Most of the time my flowers fall down on the ground and shrivel and die too. Oh! Oh, you have to laugh. Come on, seriously. It's not that bad. I actually have a wonderful life, manifesting it daily, doing the best I can. 23rd of March 2023. I worked on my ring all day from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. That's a long day for me, people. Exhausted but satisfied with my achievement. Polished to 600 grit, then a bit of LOS, that's liver of sulphur, for background contrast. And I ruined that ring. I might even melt it down and redo it. I just ruined it by trying to set stones and failing, and now it's not right and I'm not happy with it. And you know what? It was fine the way it was. I should have just left it alone. Sometimes when you create things with art or jewellery or, you know, any creative endeavour, you got to know when to leave it the fuck alone and just be satisfied that it's as good as it's ever going to be and stop trying to do the impossible, right? But I was pushing myself because I wanted to set the little stones and I wanted to see if I could do it. And I sort of succeeded partially, but then prongs fell off and a couple of stones fell off, and I was like, oh, for the love of all the gods, this ring is never going to work out. So I could just scrap it and start again, but I keep it as a reminder of all my failures, so I can talk to myself about all my failures and remind myself of all the ways I need to do better and improve, as a metaphor for my life and many other aspects of my life, people. Anyway, 23rd of March 2022. Got this horrible fizzy sensation at the back of my throat, like I just swallowed bicarbonate of soda. Horrible. It's probably from the medication. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay, so I posted a meme. Sometimes these memes are hilarious, which I can't help reposting. What my cat thinks she looks like and what she actually looks like. Oh, it's a bit like the Tanya, isn't it? In her full tribal mosh. She thinks she looks, wild and triumphant and carefree. I actually probably just look like a crazy old lady on acid making a fool of herself, right? I try not to think about that, because if I think that way, it'll ruin my enjoyment of doing the mosh. So I will choose to be like that beautiful Black Panther, languorously hanging over that tree trunk or whatever he's lying on, thinking I'm cool, right? Because denial's a long river in Africa, and sometimes you've got to delude yourself into thinking you're cool so you can achieve the silly things you would never have had confidence to do when you were 16, being driven around by a mad Yorkshireman. Well, actually, no, I was driving him around since I was learning to drive. But anyway, you get my vibe, don't you? I'm making up for all the things that were stolen from me and taken from me or held back from me since birth, baby boys and girls. I'm trying to achieve the impossible, the improbable, the unlikely, just because I can, because I'm alive and I'm stubborn like that, and I'm intrepid, and by the gods have I achieved some wonderful things. Here I posted another meme, which I won't bother showing the photo because I'll read it out to you instead. It's by Jeff Brown from the book Grounded Spirituality. Twin flames or twin blames? Twin flames is one of the most dangerous, delusional terms in the spiritual world. Amen, brother. It has little solid ground and often attracts new cages with very poor boundaries who desperately want to believe that their unhealthy relationship is soul-sponsored. I made that mistake in the past, actually. I did. That's one of my massive frickin' errors, was I believed that someone was meant to be and they weren't, and was I played for a dick. Now I know better, but I'm older and wiser now. I've done the therapy and the years of being emotionally tortured and whetted and whelped. Anyway, here he continues. Maybe it is, but that doesn't mean it is healthy or sustainable. The moment someone says they are in a twin flame relationship, I suggest that they buy a fire extinguisher and burn it, and a burn kit, because they are going to need them. And wherever you are, Jeff Brown, I don't know you in person, I never actually bought your books, but I totally agree with that. High five on that. If you're investing that much energy into a member of the opposite gender and think it's your twin flame, and worse yet, they don't actually give a flying fuck about you, that is the equivalent of being burnt to the ground and having to start again from ground zero. And I might be a warrior goddess and part phoenix, but by the gods, I've learnt the hard way, painful way. As I said, love can be a distortion, a delusion, an illusion, and a deception of the worst kind. It can be fucking cruel, people. Fucking cruel. So my comment to that was, I commented on it in 2022, but he actually posted that in 2021. I wrote, God's yes, burn the dysfunction to the ground. I am guilty of walking through towering infernos of hell for love, which has always been fake and unrequited. Scorched earth policy, move on or die. I almost did die too many fucking times. Unfortunately true. 3 strangulations, and then the viciousness from the last lover 8 years ago with his sadomasochism brought me to the brink of suicide, which is why you see me go off. There's a few very poignant, meaningful songs in my musical library. Chop Suey, Self-Righteous Suicide, because I've been there, people. I've actually lived through that. And Zombie, because I've lived as a zombie too. But that didn't have so much to do with my love life as literally living as a zombie, trying to survive my entire life after decades of trauma. So reclaiming my life has been a long, hard work in progress, and if truth be known, in its current form, it's become an art form as well. I am an artist, a revolutionary, and an anarchist, and a psychedelic dreamer too. Not on psychedelics though, people. I'm keeping my dream journaling as always, and I'm paying attention to my dreams, gaining insight on where my life is at and where it's going. And I'm keeping my other dreams, my dreaming of true love and happiness and success, is a deeply cherished jewel buried somewhere down into my chest too. Every now and then I let it out to fly, like a flying creature, hoping that someone catches it and holds it precious. Could happen one day. 23rd of March 2021, 11:11 p.m. My angels are sending me earth angels, and even though I am exhausted and lack enough funds to buy some of the more expensive equipment, I have been supported in what basic tools I need, so I can work towards my goals slowly at my own pace. I feel excited and motivated and inspired for a much better future with lots of creativity and surrounded by people who actively encourage and support me. I felt so sad about my casino dancing coming to an end, but look what is unfolding for me. 9 years wasted in that den of iniquity. Try 12 because I kept crawling back like a whipped dog. Mind you, some of the times the people were nice to me, it wasn't always bad, but anyway. Find your vibe, find your tribe, people. That's all I've got to say about that. Anyway, 9 years wasted in that den of iniquity, pouring my energy out on my spot, hoping rather absurdly to meet a decent love partner. I guess I can be happy that I kept fit and nurtured my body and soul enough to allow me the strength and courage to begin again from scratch. I have had 2 women support me in my new silver flatware jewellery making project. One lovely woman in America sent me videos on what tools I need to buy and has been so generous with information. This is how you know you're on your right path, people, because all doors open for you, like, welcome, here, let me help you, let me support you, let me gift you, let me show you how to do things so you can achieve on your own. And it was just beautiful. I'd never had that happen before in my life. Even when I went to university as a young girl, I was harried and bullied out of there, which prevented me from getting a degree and maybe getting better paying jobs and a better career. And I was so traumatised even as a teenager. I should have just fought my way through and had the attitude I have now, which is to never let the bastards grind me down, and anyone abusive just go, fuck the hell off. But at 17, I'd already survived years and years of abuse, so I actually couldn't put myself through that. I still have a phobia. Every now and then I think, oh, maybe even at this late stage of life, I should go back to university and study something and build a life for myself, even though I'm an old woman now. And I can't do it. My heart just goes, like, I just physically can't put myself through that ever again. That's how bad it was. And that doesn't mean that it would happen like that again, but it's just such a phobia now, you know. I could have been all sorts of wonderful things if I hadn't been subjected to so much predation in my life. But I'm reclaiming my life bit by bit, and who knows, maybe one day I might be well enough and strong enough and healthy enough to go back and study something and achieve. I would like to do a proper silversmithing course, but I looked it up on the TAFE thing, and you have to be an apprentice or a trainee for a jeweller to be eligible to do their course, which is just awful because it means I miss out again. But you know what? I'm teaching myself bit by bit, and it might take me a lot longer than someone who's got the funds to pay for expensive courses, but I'll get there. As I can afford resources, I'll build up my own skills, my own way. And actually, I kind of take pride in that I've been able to learn things on my own steam and not be subjected to other people's critiques and bullying and, you know, dehumanisations and delegitimisations that I always had in the education system. True story. I had teachers tell me that I'd never make it and that I was useless. I had an art teacher tell me that I'm a terrible artist. You know, constantly put down. It was like I was born with this big fucking thing on my head that said, kick me in the face and I'll suck and lick your balls in gratitude for that as well, right? Not this little black duck. No. But that was their mentality. It was evil what I was put through. Absolutely evil. Even in the when I tried to do Kabbalah lessons in my Jewish community, they ganged up on me, my former lover and the teacher and all the entities. It was foul. It was just foul. This is why from time to time I do struggle with suicidal ideation, because it's hard to exist in a world where you've received nothing but scorn and contempt and hatred and victimhood to a certain degree, although I don't claim that. I won't accept that. I'm a survivor and a thriver. But came at a huge fucking cost, people. A huge cost. Anyway, here I continue. I'm truly grateful and amazed at the kindness of strangers that I find on various Facebook groups who are so willing to teach me their craft. And yes, even that group, that initial jewellery group that I was in, was basically headhunted and invited to join it by the owner. She turned savage on me for what the fuck was that even about? But, you know, this particular woman that was in that group in America was absolutely lovely. So you see, yin and yang. I'm the sort of person that could get thrown into a wolf's den and I'll come out of it broken and beaten and chewed up, but I will still be able to point and say, that one was a nice wolf and I'm proud of them. The gift of discernment after years of fucking abuse and trauma, people. It's insane making sometimes. Really is. Here I continue writing. I put some very honest and raw videos up of my first attempt, and even I had to laugh at my own struggle to learn a new skill and at my amateur attempts. But everyone has to start somewhere, and as usual, I am late at the starting block, and the race was won by everyone else but me. But hey, I'm putting in effort to play catch up. That was 2 years ago, people. 2 bloody years ago. Was it? Wait a minute. Let's start. No, I'm wrong. Was it 2021? 3 years ago. So just over 3 years I've been on this silversmithing journey. Well, anyway. 23rd of March, 2020. Standing in my kitchen, making toast, I started sweating like a pig, thinking, uh-oh, is this coronavirus? Is this a hot flush? Check the outside temperature. Fuck! Oh well, at least I'm not dying today. Dentist at 2 p.m. That will be interesting. And I posted a screenshot of my weather app, which it's very earthy and swears and it's a bit ribald. And it said, Monday, March 23rd, mostly cloudy with light drizzle. The high is 27 degrees and the low is 23 degrees. But at that moment in the space-time continuum, it was 26 degrees. And the comment that it posted on its screenshot was, this rainy weather is going to make you moist. But you kind of have to laugh. I used to find it deeply amusing. So 26 degrees on the 23rd of March in 2020 was extremely hot. And here I was thinking I was having some old lady hot flush. And no, I was actually hot. I mean, you have to laugh. But you know you're in menopause when you doubt your own reality and think, oh, it's just my hormones, love. It's just my hormones. Oh, my goodness. 23rd of March, 2019. Shabbat Shalom Kulam, Boker Tov. That means Sabbath peace, everyone. Good morning. Every now and then I get religious and I come out with these things. Don't mind me. I don't mind it that much anymore myself. I'm over it all now. I'm over it all, but I used to be quite religious back in the day, believe it or not. The Tanya is going to shul, that means temple, a very unusual event. Even back then I was withdrawing my energy. In honour of my friend Sally Castle's incredible hard work and in honour of my own survival, Hashem moves in mysterious ways, Smiley face. Oh yes, he does. Oh yes, he, she, it does move in incredibly mysterious ways. I do hope the dibbock in the roof of Beit Or behaves itself when I am in the sanctuary. Interestingly, earlier in the week, I was thinking about one of my enemies from there, from my former congregation, and even asked myself, why are you thinking about that dreadful, vacuous, false woman? It's not like you ever have to see her again. Then by Friday Arvo, I was invited to shul, so yes, I will be eyeballing that befoulment again. It's astonishing how incredibly intuitive I am at times, that I picked up on that energy only a few days prior, thinking, oh, why do I need to think about that entity? And then, boom, manifests in real world 3D reality right up in my face. So yes, God does move in mysterious ways. All good, I write, all good. I rise and shine with 1,000 angels by my side, fearless and free, the only way to fly. So glad I got to fly in my spirit last night. I really am. I needed that. There was so much tension, and I just moshed it all out of me. No man, woman or child, dibbock or troll comes between me and my God. I am powerful and I am blessed, even if only a few rare and precious souls still love me. Where's that gone? A good day to all, smiley face. And my beautiful friend Laura Martin in Canada, who is actually a devout Christian, but is so loving and kind to me, puts up with my quirky ways too, wrote, quote, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God from A Course in Miracles. And then she wrote, and I would like to add, you, my dear, are as real as they come. Go in peace with 1,000 angels by your side. So that's how you know someone who I've never met in real life, in real world 3D reality. We've only communicated via Facebook. But that's how you know someone really loves you and sees you and acknowledges your spirit. So, to my beautiful Laura Martin. Laptop's playing up again, keeps putting up this weird thing, and I'm not clicking on it. I don't know why it keeps popping up this window. It's crazy making. I'm trying to ignore it. I'll just ignore it and it will go away. If you ignore things long enough, they go away usually. Not with health issues though. Got to stay on top of that, people. Gar, one of my cats, has pished on my tullet and tullet bag, which had fallen behind the couch. I wondered what the smell was. I had to quickly wash them. Now no tullet. Oh well, worlds will not collide. Then interestingly, I arrive here at shul to discover I have brought the Orthodox Siddur. Siddur is, a prayer book. I grabbed the wrong one. I must have been so discombobulated with just the mere concept of going back to that toxic wasteland of a temple where I had so many enemies. For what? For holding my ground? For being alive? Oh God, it was awful how I was treated there. By the gods, it was awful. But anyway, life went on. I write here, Hashem has a marvellous sense of irony. And then I posted a photo of my tallit. A tallit is a prayer shawl that Reform men and women wear. In the Orthodox, only men are permitted to wear it, but I'm a progressive Jew, and when we pray, women have the right to wear a tallit if they so wish. It is still considered by and large a male ritual garment, but I reserve the right to wear my tallit since I've had to be my own man, woman, child, warrior goddess, Viking, Jew, shaman, since very, very young age actually. Well, I didn't convert to Judaism till I was 19, but I knew as a child, even by 6 years old, I knew I was a Jew in my spirit, and so it's kind of an anomaly that I now dance wildly on the Holy Shabbat every Friday night, but that's partly as a defiance and a rebellion against, everything really. I was going to say against my community that trashed me for 35 years, but no, it's a defiance against everything. Everything. And my Holy One knows my true heart and soul and my spirit. I must admit I haven't donned that tallit in a very long time. I haven't had cause to pray in a minyan of 10 people, a community of other Jews for many years now. So it sits here, it's fallen behind the couch again, but it sits here as a permanent reminder of who I am, who my spirit really is, and it doesn't get activated or utilised very often. And but anyway, Chag Purim Sameach tonight, people. Have a happy and joyous Purim. The Tanya will be out moshing her neck bones to dark, hard rock songs. And the gods will be laughing at me and crying alongside me probably too. But it is what it is. I washed my pure wool tallit that I bought when I converted to Reform Judaism when I was just 19 years old. It's a beautiful tallit. I paid quite a lot of money for it too. Now where has this gone? The whole thing's blipped out. It's just gone, blippity blip, 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 blip. Stupid machine. Why can't I have a computer that just is normal and works properly? Because I'm not normal and I don't work properly either. So we will work with what we have, people of Earth. What we have is the Tanya, strutting her stuff, ignoring all limitations, living her best life with a motley crew computer that sometimes I feel like taking a hammer to. I might do it one day. I've been known to do that, get violent with computers. Only when they're completely defunct though. I'm not totally stupid. I am home. Yes, I am home from shul. I had a lovely time seeing Sally receive her award. So I went mainly to support her because she's been such a wonderful, supportive friend to me of many years. You know, I was honour bound to be there for her in her time of triumph and celebration. And also it was a celebration of a young man's conversion. His grandparents, friends of mine, Mavis and Mervyn, and his great-grandmother, Mervyn's mother, were there. Mervyn's mother is now aged 100 years and 8 months. And I was awestruck as the gorgeous lady has not at all aged in the last 10 years since I last saw her. It was very fucking trippy, people. It was astonishing. It was just wonderful to see such beauty and vitality in her. Meanwhile, I stagger around like death's own mistress at almost 54. It's done it again. It's kicked me out again without me touching anything. Astonishing, people. So she is an inspiration to me. Good health and zest and love and joy are her portion in life, and by the gods, it shows. So Mama T must pull up her socks and try to enjoy better health too. I also got to meet Rabbi Fred Morgan, who was about to retire. I asked him to send my kindest regards to my former Rabbi Uri Tamal and express my gratitude for his support of me many years ago. I learnt sad news that Dr. Eva Popper had passed on 3 weeks ago. So time is marching on, and I must get back into the groove again instead of floundering on the edges of my own life like a suffocating pufferfish. So many inspirational, hard-working and humble souls in one room. Wow. It really was inspiring. Sitting in my garden, eating peaches. There's a song about that. With Charlie and Beauregard for company. I vacuumed the floors as I could not abide my own filth a day longer. It was so hot and humid, I sweated off most of my makeup. Schmeh. I can reapply it later. It is much cooler outside in the garden. A lovely, peaceful vibe. My tallit, prayer shawl, is almost dry. Funny cats. I probably won't be wearing it again for a long while, but it is clean now. Eating peaches and thinking about my purring, pissing felines looking so satisfied. Presidents of the USA. Kitty gonna spend the night outside if she pulls that shit again. Somehow, I don't think she minds really. The joys of lacking a frontal lobe and being nature's sociopaths. Yes, even my pets are sociopaths, but unfortunately they've all entered Valhalla now. But along with the dog, they've all gone. It's just my little birdie and I left. Oh, I miss them all. Even though I complained about their naughty ways, I did love them dearly and I do miss them every day. Anyway, I have had a good day. I might even go dancing tonight, or at least sit in my spot and listen to the music. Life is for living full throttle, but not throttled or mottled or collywobbled. That's why it does that. When I try to use the wheel to scroll down, it throws a wobbly. But now it's working. Weird. Well, another of my golden idols becoming shit-stained abuse apologists. In her perfect world of wealth, privilege and fame, I guess she cannot begin to comprehend that not dying from their abuse is hardly a vainglorious commodity. Not dying, surviving to marry and have children. Yes, that's nice. But we survivors lived with death constantly. The death of our childhoods, our innocence, and the death of our nobility and reputation, for which we strive to compensate for in a myriad, often unhealthy ways. I will no longer support Barbra Streisand. She can join Stuart World, where the real world does not exist and little sisters are declared dead. Ha ha. The zombie apocalypse is coming, and this little sister continues her dance amongst the Sephiroth. Another pervert bites the dust. Disgraceful. Oh well, at least she didn't tell the adult survivors to get a haircut and a real job, as my half-sister told rape victims at the Rape Advisory Centre. The fucking filthy thing. That's when I began to realise how absolutely rotten and evil my half-sister really, truly was and is. And to all the child sexual abuse and rape apologists out there, don't you ever, ever, ever dare tell me to forgive ever, ever again. Because I'm done forgiving monsters. Absolutely done. So here is the actual article posted. I'm done with this creature too, this thing, who, believe you me, I greatly admired and had a lot of her music, and never got to go to any concerts because I never get to go to concerts of major celebrities, but I really loved her for a long time till she did that. That was the end. Go fuck yourself, Barbra Streisand. So she commented they were his sexual needs. Barbra Streisand has bizarrely defended Michael Jackson. It's just beyond evil. So the poster of this meme wrote, "This is horrific. I used to love Barbara. You can say molested, but those children, as you heard say, the grown-up Robson and Safechuck, they were thrilled to be there. They both married and they both have children, so it didn't kill them." That was her mentality, the evil dog. Absolutely evil it is. It's not human. I will never buy her music ever again. Anyway, she's an old lady now. So her time will come. And my beautiful friend Laura Martin commented, because she's real like me, "What the actual fuck?" And I wrote back, "Oh, she backpedaled after those comments to save her precious career, vacuous, evil cunt." And my computer just threw me off again. I don't know what's going on today. Anyway. I will intrepidly continue because I will not hide from the truth. The truth is, yes, Sometimes Mama T can be an asshole too, but at least I'm an honest asshole and I will admit when I'm wrong, unlike that creature. I lost a lot of faith in a lot of, celebrity singers and musicians during the current recent COVID epoch too, for reasons being their shilling of something that they had no comprehension of how actual dangerous and potentially life-threatening it could be. So I can't listen to their music anymore. It physically makes me sick. But the worst of all is these pedophile enablers or supporters or practically filleting them. It's just evil and perverted. It's the most sickening thing of all. And I will stand by that till the day I die too. Even though I got married and had children, it didn't kill me. She's got no comprehension of the soul death and the staining and the damage it does to, at this stage of life, me still unable to hold down meaningful work or have a loving partner. So I was murdered. I was soul murdered over and over again to the point where I was unable to have a normal, safe, happy life. So, Barbra Streisand, wither away, bitch. Wither the fuck away. March 23rd, 2018. This is what our world is up against. Government-sponsored genocides and rapists everywhere. Not just openly in Oklahoma, which is why it is high time I checked out of this Hotel California planet Earth nightmare, but someone has to outlive the evil of our time and be a voice in the wilderness. Might as well be me as anyone else on this planet. Keep your voice and keep your truth no matter what, people. They'll even try and steal that out from under you as well. It's unbelievable. I don't know what that article was about because it just has the comment outrageous, but the actual link is not there. Probably got quickly deleted by a vocal media censorship bot or something enabling abusers. Here I write, still very ill, gonna have to relent and take prednisone. Hate that stuff. March 23rd, 2017. The terrorist attack on London Bridge, England, UK. Crystal messaged me to let me know she is safe in England. And earlier I wrote, I wish my daughter would come home to Brisbane. So I was very frightened of her being alone in a strange country with very little resources, very little family support. I had no money to bail her out if shit got real. So the whole time she was in the UK, I ate my own liver with worry because I knew how risky it was and dangerous, her not having the backup of actual money or a family that could rescue her in a moment's time. There was one incident when she hooked up with some crazy guy over there, and she came on the Skype with him, and he said to me, probably thinking he was being funny, some sadist. He said, "I've got your daughter. What are you going to do now?" Right? And I said, "Get back on Skype, boyo," and he did. And I said, "Have you got a trundle bed under your bed?" What? I said, "You get a bed for me ready. I will be there in 3 days. I'll be coming to get my daughter." And he looked at me, looked at Crystal. He said, "Would she really?" And Crystal smiled at him sweetly. She said, "If my mother says she's coming to get me, she'll be here." She says, "When my mother says something, it happens." He just looked into the camera at me. He says, "Oh, but she says you've got no money. How are you going to come and rescue her all the way from the UK?" I said, 36-hour flight. I'll be there in 3 days. I said, "If need be, I will get the money." "Be ready, boy," I said. "Mama T's are coming." He shat himself. He broke up with her 2 weeks later. Took him 2 weeks to think about it because he was still shrooming off his dial, but what the fuck. But this is the thing. I worried the whole time she was there, and then she hooks up with a bona fide psychopath who she told me had great big pits all over his backyard. I said, "I hope they're not bodies, Crystal." She freaked out. She said, "He's in, what do you call it? Like a garden, not a gardener, a horticulturalist." And I even said to him, I said, "What's with all these big ditches you've got buried all over your backyard? They better not be bodies, boyo, because if anything happens to my daughter, you'll be dealing with me." He shat himself. He absolutely shat himself, which told me he did not have good intentions towards my daughter. So I shat myself too a bit because I was bluffing about coming on the next plane and finding the money by the way. But it was a good bluff because she came home safe to Brisbane, only to 6 years later be estranged from me. So what the fuck? But never come between me and my kids. Never threaten my children. We've been put through enough in this country. Never mind having that happen to her over in England. By the gods. Anyway, I wrote here, "I wish my daughter could come home to Brisbane, but in truth, terrorist attacks can happen anywhere. The world is not safe, so we all have to make it safer. Love more. Fight for human rights, animal rights, planetary rights. Suffer no fools. Stand up to protect each other." Amen, sister. There should be more of that too. People being ready to fucking stand up in the moment of crisis instead of obfuscating and taking all these into your system because some idiot told you to. Barbara Streisand. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but people actually Barbara Streisand themselves without using their little bit of common sense to think, what's going on here with all this? Here, have a donut and some football tickets. You'll be right, love. Oh, dear goddess. It's the equivalent of that little sadist in, where was she staying with that maniac in England? Can't remember where it was now. "I've got your daughter. What are you going to do about it?" "I'll be on the next plane, motherfucker." Even though I'm estranged from both my children now, not exactly by choice, but by their low-level entity malevolence that happened since this, by the way. I mean, they could be a bit, dishonouring of me before, but that was the final, that did something to their brain, I'm certain of it. It was the final straw. But anyway, even though I am disengaged and, estranged from both my daughters now, if either one of those little buggers of mine that I spawned onto this planet quite willingly, in fact determinedly, if they rang me up and said, Mum, I need your help, I need you to come and get me, I need you to get me out of this situation, I'd be there. Even putting myself in danger, I would be there. And they've never asked me to assist, but because they know I'd be there, and all hell would break loose. All hells would break loose. So but anyway, thankfully they've kept themselves relatively safe, and the eldest is 38 now, and the youngest is 36, and there will be no grandchildren because they've been permanently altered by this, and they were already, classed as geriatric mothers if they fell pregnant naturally by their own accord. So maybe I should take that philosophy of all hell breaking loose and go completely to war about what's been done to my progeny. But no, everyone's just laid down and accepted it like it was the most normal thing in the world. It's alarming. Anyway, I continue reading. This is back in 2018. Crystal was on tour guide training on a bus on the other side of town when it happened. They got an emergency call. She was lucky. Some angel looking over my daughter that day. Here I write again that day. Intense pain in my leg. I have rubbed deep heat on it, not taking Panadeine Forte as it makes my fatty liver problem worse. This is the thing. I can't even take bloody painkillers half the time because everything makes me worse. I'm a fragile, wilting little flower. Unless you fuck with me, then I become a warrior goddess in a microsecond. Just lying on the couch watching Gaia.com, cursing my fate, but we'll go to bed soon. I was just going to have to ride this bullshit. No, I'm really tired. Look, I can't even read that sentence. I have to go back to bed, otherwise I won't be able to do my performance art tonight, which I was specifically invited to, and I don't understand really why. It's not like they need me to be there, but they seem quite excited about me being there. So I will honour my promise. I'm a woman of my word. I'll continue reading. I am going to have to ride this bullshit out. It can take 3 weeks to 3 months to heal my sciatic nerve. So it is just a matter of time and trying to be patient. Chronic pain since the 11th of December is a bitch, but it will end, or I will end. Then I wrote, wow, my very first couch surfing guest is coming to stay on Monday and Tuesday night. A young Frenchman, very cool. He was a nice young lad, but I didn't enjoy actually having a stranger in my house. It was weird. So I only had that one couch surfer, and then I gave it up. He didn't do anything wrong. He was a nice enough young man, but I just felt weirded out. It's my issues, it's my trauma issues. So, here's a photo of one of my former pussycats. Mushu, chilling with his homie. Bird being a new pet to the home in 2017. Let's go and spend some time with her again. We're outside, but she's very quiet today. Sometimes she gets a little bit depressed. So I have to go and hang out with her, make sure she's a happy birdie today. I'm going to see my optometrist soon. Yes, I need to do that soon too. Annoying, but a necessary evil. I think my eyesight has improved slightly. Denial. Since I stopped taking psych meds 9 months ago. It will be interesting to find out if I'm right. I don't seem to get as much blurred vision except when I'm crazy tired. A quick cuddle with Mummy Penny before he gets off the bed. Oh, this is just so gorgeous. Beauregard and Penny together on the bed, having a cuddle. And she really was like a mother to him. She did behave as though he was one of her babies. She's such a sweetheart. March 23rd, 2016. I have spent the day moving furniture, trying to fit stuff in and make my house look less cluttered. It is full of Crystal's stuff as well as mine. I feel smothered by stuff. The living room finally looks a bit better. I woke up at 1:45 p.m. It is now 2:51 p.m. It's a beautiful still day. I'm sitting in the garden. I am content. My chest is much better, still a bit tight. I feel exhausted from a month of epic coughing spasms. I did not want to get out of bed today, but my body made me. I'm glad to be part of this beautiful day. I'm lucky to be alive when so many others are not. Indeed. Indeed. Beauregard is driving me crazy eating cat shit. Bella used to do the same. Ugh. He is better behaved with the hens now. They have started laying again. 2 eggs today, much needed. I feel a bit strange emotionally, like something big is about to happen. I am broke until next Tuesday, so worried about money as usual. The gas bill has arrived and will be followed swiftly by the electricity bill. It is completely fucked that government housing don't have solar power. We would breathe easier come bill time. In the meantime, survive and conspire to thrive. It is not surprising that the poor and disenfranchised turn to crime. Eking out an existence on almost nothing makes you crazy. Well, I am an honest, decent, honourable woman, and that got me nowhere. The irony is not lost on me. 23rd March 2015. 1:56 a.m. I just drove home from my local McDonald's. As I was driving the 5-minute trip home, I had this thought. There is a big love coming. I felt happy and exuberant. Then I walked into the spare room to check on my bunny grandkids. Mushu, pardon me. Mushu followed me in. I picked him up and kissed him lavishly, then put him down on the floor. He went up to the pet fence and Ramon moved over to him, and through the fencing they touched noses. A bunny kitten kiss. I was right. The big love is already here, and it is washing over me, inspiring me, and who knows, maybe attracting the man of my dreams, prayers, manifestations. Anything is possible. Keep dreaming, psychedelic dreamer. Keep dreaming. It's a beautiful dream. "5:43 a.m. Still wide awake, tired but mentally alert. Damn, might as well get up, let the chooks out and have a cup of tea. A hearty muzzle toff to my young friends Ashley and Scott Dean, who last night brought forth their third child, Zachary Elroy Dean, 9 pounds 6 ounces. Rather a solid baby. I shall call him Zeddy, sweet little munchkin. I am so excited for them and his big and proud sisters, Chloe and Bethany." 10:06 p.m. The sadness. Did you see the sadness wash over my face just then? I was trying to hold it down. The sadness is that I didn't end up having much contact with that family in the end. So, yeah, it is what it is. Let it go, let it go. 10:06 p.m. Home from Domino's with pizza. I can't remember the last time I went to that store. Seemed to be new owners. 2 friendly guys with broad smiles who were great and a tad sexy. I might have to take my business back there. I hated the previous franchisees. Oh God, they were rude, those other people. Now watching Comedy Festival, Bliss Out. 23rd of March 2014. I watched a lovely movie, About Time. That was the name of it, About Time. And there goes Peter with little Coco. Oh, bless. She's at the gate looking for me. Mama T loves you, Coco, but I'm busy. I love you. I still love you even when I'm busy, Coco. I love you, little girl. I love you. It's terrible. It's heart-wrenching. I feel like such an asshole. I love you, Cokie, baby. Oh, she's so delighted. She's at the gate, and then she ran up, and then she ran down, and then Peter came, and she's still like, Mama T, Mama T. Oh, I feel terrible, but I can't. I'm actually in my nightie too. I mean, I've got knickers on, but Peter's a lovely man, but he doesn't need to see me in full flagrant, mini nightie out there. Try and have a little bit of decorum, people. I know. It gets silly, I know. Anyway, where was I? I watched a lovely movie About Time, lovely story, craving chocolate now. And then chocolate, and here came Coco. Oh, bless. I do love that little doggy. She's so gorgeous. But boundaries, people. Sometimes I just need to, be busy for a change, right? Am I right? Last time I did take you out to meet her because I wanted you to see what a gorgeous love I have from that little dog. There's a big love right there. My goodness. If I had a human man that loved me that much, it'd be astonishing. I'd probably chew my arm off because I wouldn't know what to do with it. I wouldn't think it was real, and it's abort. That sometimes has been known to happen too. Anyway, I'm enjoying the love that's around me at the moment, very much so. Here's some photos I posted of my daughter in her clown costume when she was in her clown persona. been extremely supportive of my daughter all her life, which is another reason why I'm grief-stricken, how I just got rejected when I said I thought I might be dying, because have been very ill. I have indeed been very ill. Even going out last night was pushing it, and I'll be pushing it by going out tonight too. And people don't realise that I am actually quite ill. But anyway, I keep fighting because I'm going to get better. And if I don't get better, I'll handle that when it comes to. But in the meantime, I'm kind of living in this surrealist kind of denial and dancing as wildly and joyously as I can, moving my body as often as I can, because I'm fighting to stay alive, people. Anyway, that was preparation for Lancelot Grobbo's big day. Clown play. I just realised it's funny that she called him Lancelot Grobbo, because Grobbener in Yiddish is an insult for a fat person. Grobbener, Grobbo. So she quite cleverly would have deliberately picked that. And like me, she tends to be a bit overweight. But if I'd known she'd called herself Grobbo, because I've only just seen it now, realised it now, I would not have encouraged that. Don't put yourself down for being a Boadicea armoured babe. Be proud of who you are no matter what. Love the skin you're in. Some of us will never be fucking 6'2" Biafran supermodels, because some of us need to eat and sustain our bodies and cope with our traumas by overeating at times. Yes, I know, it is an addiction. But some of us will always be overweight, and you need to make peace with that. Stop fucking torturing yourself like a wild animal. The only reason anyone should be so bone waif thin is because you've just stepped out of a fucking concentration camp. I do not admire super thin, starved entities. I don't judge them for it. I understand that they too have an eating disorder. But it's not a lifestyle I would inflict on anyone or wish them to live like or have. Always, even if you're a lovely slim person, carry a few extra kilos for those moments when you might actually need it, like when you get a bad flu. Need that bit of extra padding to buffer you. I mean, I realise that I'm a big woman, excessively big woman, but it's actually by choice, people. I choose this body the way it is. And I had 10:30 till 2, 3.5 hours of solid bloody exercise last night, and there'll be a few more hours tonight. And I'm fit and I'm strong. I'm still not fucking healthy, but I'm fit and I'm strong. And that's good enough for me. Here's my girl doing the frowny face. We were doing the frowny face. I actually look quite pretty there, doing my frowny face. The mama and the daughter. The mama and the daughter just clowning around. Here I write, utterly exhausted after all the dancing and helping Crystal with her gig today. The kids were all awesome and appreciated the party. Lovely parents too. My dear goddess. She gave up clowning, I don't know why. I think she said it made her too depressed afterwards. It was the coming down from it, which I understand too. Home from the best weekend ever. This was 2014. I danced all night with the beautiful Karina. Man, did we rock the Murphys. Burst played superbly and rocked out, and we rocked out with them, and I was feeling magnificent. Then I got let down by a man again. games men play, lol. Life goes on. Tomorrow is another day, except it is today. So I will be a busy grandma to a freaked out bunny tomorrow, dressed as a fairy. I hope I can summon more energy, because I nearly killed myself tonight. Not literally, but physically with exhaustion. I officially can't feel my feet. I hadn't eaten dinner, so I'm having a nice cup of tea and tinned spaghetti. Sort of gross, that is for 4 a.m. Oh well. I didn't see Brian hanging out with George this weekend. I hope he is okay. He was acting a bit psychotic last weekend. Meaning Brian was acting a bit psychotic. George said he missed him too. Oh, we're a bunch of nutters in the night, but we have each other. Well, do we? Do we really? Or were they all just superficial fucking friends and fly-by-nighters? Because let's be real here, Mama T no longer lives in fairyland or in denial. I know who my true friends are. They've demonstrated that over the decades. 23rd of March, 2011. My mood is still crappy and I'm still very tired. I went out to buy flea and heartworm products for the cats and the dog. Then I planned on looking around the shops more, but it was so humid and I felt so blah, I gave up and came home. Washing done in the amazing washing machine, which was gifted to me by a benefactor, anonymous benefactor, a very expensive washing machine. So there you go, that machine is 13 years old now. And I'm very grateful for that, by the way. And I have started on the dishes, laughing out loud. Started, not finished, and folding washing. Just got the worst indigestion all of a sudden. Anyway, it is now 2:31 p.m. and I'm going to bid you all adieu. I'm going to go and have a little bit more of a rest so I can magically, physically, emotionally re-innovate myself for tonight's wild dancing, which will indeed be wild. And off we go again, another day in paradise. So God's bless. Have a beautiful day, afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the space-time continuum. And stay happy, stay hydrated. I'm going to go and have a drink of water myself now. Stay blessed. Big, big agape love. Supernal, blessed love to all, especially for those of you celebrating Purim this evening. Bye for now, my darlings.